Hello, it's Regina. Welcome back to my haunted library. So it's fully winter time here in my neck of the woods, and last week we had the wonderful wolf blood moon, or whatever it was, rise in the sky on a very cold night, and all of that kind of coincided with me getting into some epic fantasy, meaning I'm finally going to complete, hopefully. I failed before, but I'm starting again, my quest to finish all of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Now, last year, with the full intention of actually finally reading this, I bought myself a nice copy of The Hobbit, which I have read The Hobbit when I was a kid, but I don't remember any of it. And I really should have started with The Hobbit, but I didn't. And I got a nice set of Lord of the Rings in 3 volumes, and it comes with a very cool fold-out map of Middle-earth. So this is a huge undertaking, especially for me, where I don't really do like large fantasy series, but there's something about this time of year and just the frozen tundra of where I live that made me want to kind of get into it. So I'm going to do it, and I've already started my quest, and I'm doing very well on it. So, full disclosure, I have read some of The Lord of the Rings, but I never got all the way through it. About 10 years ago, I was house sitting for my sister, and it was kind of like after the movie had come out, and she had the big volume of all 3 books. And I started reading that, and I got about as far as almost to the end of Fellowship of the Ring. And it was her book, and then I just never picked it up later. And then about a year ago, I said, I'm going to start this quest again. I started listening to Fellowship of the Ring on audiobook, and I got almost all the way to the end again. So I really do feel like I'm on a quest here to finish this, but I don't want to just rush through it. I want to enjoy it and really take my time, and it does require time and commitment. And it's a very humbling and challenging work, only because it has so much depth. And I feel like as I'm reading it, I'm only really kind of skimming the surface on a lot of levels. But the further I get into it, the more I love it. And I kind of feel like after a day at work, and maybe it's just the way the weather is, I just want to go and crawl into my little hobbit hole and get back into Middle Earth. And I think that, of course, this has been, everyone says this, I'm not adding anything new, but the whole Middle Earth part of the story is, I think, what makes it so incredible. One of the things, there are many things, but it is a complete world, and it feels real, and it feels like a historical epic in a way. Like this place is a real place, and it's so detailed and it's so visual, and I love Tolkien's descriptions. I mean, it's kind of like there are times where it takes my breath away, and I was, going online and reading a lot of Goodreads reviews on it, and there's a lot of incredible YouTube videos about it, the whole Tolkien thing, and fantasy. I mean, some of these people are so into it, it really boggles my mind. And again, I'm humbled and challenged by the level of commitment. But some people complain about the songs. I actually really love the songs, because I love poetry. It would be really cool if it was like a musical. Someone should make it into a musical, because it has all the potential there. And as I've been reading the books, I've also been watching the movies, which is a commitment in itself, because it's like 9 hours long. So I had seen Fellowship of the Ring when it came out, and not having read the book, I found it was kind of like, I don't know, I was a little confused, maybe a little bored. And then I think I fell asleep during the Two Towers, which now I'm watching it. I just finished it, and I was like, wow, it was like amazing. I can't believe I fell asleep. But when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So what I'm finding so far with this is just loving being in this world, that I loved the characters. Now, I was not a big Hobbit fan at the beginning, because I wasn't really into the whole Hobbit thing, and the feet was kind of but I've grown to love them, and I'm absolutely in love with Gandalf, and he is by far my favorite character in the entire series. And I'm also really getting into like the spiritual side of this story, which is unfolding more and more the deeper I get into it, which is a lovely surprise. But not a surprise to people who are into it, because that, as I've been like watching their videos and reading, it's like, oh, okay, this has been there all this time, and I just haven't really taken the plunge. So I will let you know how my quest goes, but I'm committed to the journey to the end. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for stopping by my haunted library, and I'll see you soon. Bye.